Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first episode of the Character Investigator. Tonight's episode is about shippings and pairs in anime. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with these terms, basically, whenever a fan watches an anime or reads a manga, the creator sometimes puts subtle hints toward certain relationships that may exist or may come about later on in the series. And some fans decide to run with that idea. They put together or pair up certain characters that they really enjoy because, honestly, they have many reasons for this. Today's story is just to cover a few of those pairings that I have seen in my experience with different animes. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to tonight's top story, shipping in pairs in anime. Tonight's first pairing is from the anime and manga, The Happy Lesson. To give you a quick synopsis of the story, basically a young man known as Chitotos Hitos opens up his home to become sort of a boarding house or inn where people can stay. Due to some unfortunate circumstances, Chitotos' mother and father are not in the anime. I believe they unfortunately passed. But to Chitotos' greater misfortune, five of his teachers actually take up rooms with him and become his mothers. So now Chitotos and his 5 teachers have to live together, but keep it secret because, as I'm sure you can appreciate, it is very taboo, the idea of a student living with not only one teacher, but several. And also at this point, I would like to state that this anime actually surprised me, because as you may guess, this might have been like a harem anime, basically where there's one young man surrounded by 5 beautiful women and they're all competing for his affection. Oddly enough, the anime does not take this direction. And I have to give it some proper respect for that. No, the pairing that occurs within, the implied pairing, rather, that occurs within this anime is between Chitotos and one of his classmates, Rai Fujimoto. The class president, actually. Basically, their stories is just the cliche, Chitotos is a slacker, Rai Fujimoto is, a straight-laced, straight-A, good student who's always hanging around Chitotos, trying to push him and make him better. And, yeah, they hint at, they like each other, but they don't really do anything, as a couple through the course of the anime. Until the very end, when they reveal to one another that they do have those feelings for one another. Unfortunately, due to bad circumstance, they both get amnesia. Basically, some ridiculous circumstance with a third party occurs, and they lose their memories of that day. So the anime concludes with an implied ship, in that they may get together, they may not get together. It's just one of Chitotos' lessons. Anyway, now that we have that ship covered, let us move on to the second ship of the evening. Between a Kazuma Kuwabara and Yukina, a frost demon, I believe it was. second pairing of the evening comes from the anime and manga Yu Yu Hakusho. Basically, to give a quick overview of the story, Yusuke Urameshi is an average junior high student in Japan. He's kind of a rebel, loner type character, and unfortunately for him, one day when he is skipping class, he sees a child playing in the street and pushes him out of the way of a moving vehicle. This unfortunately causes Yusuke's death. However, it does not seem like it was his time to go from this world, if you catch my meaning. So, he is given a task that may allow him to return to the world of the living. He works through this, and is appointed the job of spirit detective. Basically, his job is to, monitor and track certain cases involving demons, spirits, apparitions, etc., coming from the spirit world over to the human mortal world. Now, fans of the series may think that the focus for this shipping is actually going to be on Yusuke and his childhood friend Keiko. However, I found this relationship a bit too similar to the last pairing that I talked about, so I looked a bit more into another pairing between Kazuma Kuwabara and Yukina. Now, what makes this pairing interesting is the fact that Kazuma is a normal, spiritually aware human, whereas Yukina is an ice apparition. Basically, they come together when Yusuke is sent on a mission to find and rescue Yukina. Kazuma comes along because of his spiritual awareness. It helps them to better locate her. So, they track down Yukina, and they work through the villains that captured her, and upon seeing her, Kazuma just falls madly in love with her. This isn't entirely strange, as in prior episodes or chapters of the manga, he had shown some interest in Botan, the Grim Reaper. So maybe he has some liking for other beings. I'm not entirely sure myself. But I was interested in this pairing because during the Dart tournaments a bit later on in the series, the mere presence of Yukina actually gives Kuwabara strength after he's been beaten and battered and is honestly near death. Just the fact that she is there gives him strength to press on and fight, and it's nice.
You ready, Risho?
It looks like this intense battle is about to end in the most exciting of ways!
Sorry, boy, but dying's not in my plan!
And this time Kuwabara's charging as well!
Say hello to extinction! That's fine by me! Kuwabara! Wait a second. Yukina? Why am I thinking of her now? Must be my life flashing before me. Sorry, my love. I wanted to protect you always.
Kazuma!
That's weird. I just thought Hey, wait, she's here! What on earth are you battling about? I'm not babbling! She's my girlfriend!
Hold on! Kuwabara has just unbelievably hurled Risho outside the ring! What a comeback! Where has the sudden surge of power come from?
There's only one person who calls me by my first name!
We've been very worried. Kazuma, are you okay?
Yeah!
Now, unfortunately, my investigation didn't turn out much, about where their relationship ultimately goes. But I felt that that one moment was really worth talking about and showing off. So, yes. Alright. Finally, we have one more pairing for the evening. Tonight's final pairing comes from the anime and manga Full Metal Alchemist. Basically, the story of Full Metal Alchemist is that two young boys, Edward and Alphonse Elric, attempted to use the science of alchemy to bring their mother back from the dead. This, unfortunately, led to the loss of Edward's left leg and right arm, as well as Al's physical body, so that Edward had to attach his soul to a suit of armor. After that, they have to set out on a quest to find or create an item known as the Philosopher's Stone, an item that should be able to help them restore their bodies to their original state. Now, throughout the course of their journey, they meet many interesting characters. Maze Hughes, Roy Mustang, Alexander Armstrong, etc. But the pairing that comes to mind for this series is actually from their hometown. You see, the night of the incident, they go to the Rockbell residence because they are automail technicians. Basically, this means that they work in, I guess you would say, heavy metal prosthetics, like prosthetic limbs that are made of metal. Edward wants to be fitted with an arm and a leg, so that he can, better continue his journey. This is also the home of their childhood friend, Winry Rockbell, a young girl that Edward and Al fought many a time over the affection of. Throughout the series, they have their implications that they both have those feelings of love and respect for one another. But, of course, they try to play it cool, as it were. But by the end of the series, it seems like they are moving toward potentially marriage and such. Now, I focused on this pairing because, because not only for the love, but for the dedication between these two characters. Winry stays in their hometown, learning and perfecting her skills as an automail technician. She started learning at a young age. During the course of the series, I believe they moved into their teenage years, so around 14 or so, roughly. And for a person to pick up this skill just for their friend, so that they can help fix them and repair them and, care for them, is honestly very touching. Also, she stays behind and waits for them daily. Well, she stays behind and waits for them, and it is said that every day she made an apple pie and just waited for them to return. That's another extreme level of dedication. While Edward and Al are journeying, across the country, it's good for them to know that they have at least someone, somewhere to return to, no matter what. And Winry is a great asset to them during their journey, making repairs, being moral support, and it's a good love story, and in this reporter's opinion, probably one of the best that I have seen in anime currently. We have other, nice stories, but it takes a great deal of dedication to pick up a very technical skill, attaching metal, working limbs to people, just because of one person. To stay dedicated to this person for years without hearing a word from them. It's very touching.
Make sure to oil it every day.
Right.
And please keep the screws tightened.
Yeah.
Dry it off immediately when you get out of the tub.
Fine.
Are you even listening?
Yeah.
Ugh. Ah, there's your train. Knowing you, you're probably gonna break it within a month and have to come home for maintenance.
Yeah. You're probably right.
Well, whenever that does happen, just call me to make an appointment.
Sure. An appointment?
What's wrong?
Listen, Winry.
Well, what? Just come out and say it.
Equivalent exchange! Huh? I'll give half of my life to you if you give half of yours to me!
Come on. Do you have to treat everything like alchemy? The whole equivalent exchange thing is just nonsense.
What'd you say?
Ugh, it's nonsense. How about I just give you my whole life? Maybe not all of it. 90? Maybe 80%? 70. That's not enough. But 85? Yeah, 85 is a good number. What? Shut up!
I'm sorry, really.
Edward!
You are so incredible. You knocked equivalent exchange flat on its butt in just a few words.
And what's that mean? Are you making fun of me?
Not at all. Thanks for cheering me up. I'll miss you. Goodbye. For now.
Come home soon.
And that is all that we have time for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. So, I ask you now, do you have some different pairings and ships in anime that you would like to see covered maybe in the future? What are your favorites? Would you like me to cover other genres with shipping and pairings? And I do apologize for the focus on shipping and pairings right now. It's just the theme of the month. I assure you, moving forward, my subjects and investigations will be more varied, more thorough, and hopefully better. Better suited to your liking. So, I will also ask you if you have any thoughts, opinions, comments, concerns, or suggestions for future topics for me to research, please let me know in the comment section below. And that is all I have for this very first episode of the Character Investigator. I'm Valiant Bradley James. And as always, have fun, stay safe, and be well, my friends. Until next time.